on? What's poppin'? It's your boy 97KT, and welcome to the first episode of the podcast. Uh, Today's episode, man, is going to start off just a little bit on the serious note. Usually when you have kind of like a first episode or something, you try to make it like a little light, a little lighthearted, a couple jokes here and there. But man, this has been weighing on my mind for a long time, and I think these past incidences that have happened in the city, New York City. That's where I'm from. It really kind of motivated me to really get on here and really start just speaking my mind. Everybody else doing it, why can't I? And I think that what I have to say is I ain't telling nobody to listen to me, but I'm just a regular 22-year-old kid, man, in the Bronx. If I'm thinking it, I'm pretty sure everybody's thinking it. And it's coming to a point now where you really starting to look at how deep black folks have really fallen. Like, there's so much hate, so much anger, that even when there are talks of unity, even when there's talks of actually putting forth programs, putting forth movements to make our situation better, you still have brothers and sisters out here who are still wilding. All because in their mind, the illustration that they paint of themselves is far greater than what we got going on in the community. It's that sense of selfishness, of that sense of I don't care about you, it's all about me attitude that has driven us to a point where I'm disappointed. And you're gonna be thinking to yourself, well, who is this guy who's disappointed? I don't care if I'm disappointing you, but you should kind of care. Because like I said, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who sits here and look at the coonery that's going on. Shout out to academics for who's really going out here and really going out of their way to start tripping. And I can only call your actions goofy. Bozoitis, that's what you call it. Goofositis. It's ridiculous, man. Got a kid going away to college. Well, not right now, Corona, but he planning to go away to college. Playing ball, trying to stay on the right path. And he taken out of here for what? Beef? Colors? Like it don't make no sense to me. And I don't need nobody coming out here, trying to explain the coonery or the foolishness. Because at this point for me, man, there's no really explaining what your actions are entailing. Back in the day, man, I'm only 22, so I wasn't living in when, gangs was back there real prevalent and shit like that. But from what I get, the gist of it, that we're missing now is there was at least some form of upper gang leadership. You had the OGs, you had the old timers who sat down, and you would kind of get the game from them, because not saying everything they taught you was right, but there are some lessons to be learned from the older generation. And now it seems like, it's just niggas with guns running around getting lit. Like there's no one to really call a meeting together, like in the like what was it, 90s to early 2000s or whatever, when the Bloods and Crips was trying to come together and really piece together, try to piece together a kind of treaty so that the violence could at least simmer down to a point where you wasn't hearing about 52 people getting killed a day. You know what I mean? But that's what's missing now. So without that key crucial element, to which was some kind of order, now it's just little niggas with guns running around killing people, bro. And it really weighs on my mind, because like all this is proven to those racist white folks who want to see you getting choked out, who want to see you behind bars, you feel me? Who want to see you not do anything with your life, and it makes them fight even harder for everything that we're trying to put a stop to. So with the whole defund the police movement, right? For me, I wish they would call it something different because once you start rallying under something, people start to misconstrue the real meaning behind it, and words. If you say something in a short slogan, man, it catches on like that, like fire. And people now are trying to really fight against the defund the police because they're thinking that, oh, once you get rid of all the police officers, the criminal element is going to come out and really go crazy. Well, yeah, that's true. But that's why we're not talking about getting rid of the police wholly. We're talking about allocating some of the funds that they use to abuse the community they're supposed to serve and protect and use it to help stop the criminal element. And when you really think about it, you're like, it's not that hard of an idea to grasp. But when you ignorant and when your source of information is only one mainstream line of media, you get so deep into yourself that you ain't really trying to hear all that. In my mind, is what I think to be true, and that's it. And I think that's where everybody kind of is right now. Now pro, you got pro, not pro, you got anti defund the police protesters coming out now. And they're allowed to protest, but you got to really understand why they're protesting. They're scared. In my personal opinion, that's what all racists are. They're just scaredy cats. They scared of what the other person might be thinking about them. You know what I mean? Like, what will I be plotting against you? Like, no, homie, I'm just trying to survive. Y'all got me in a place now where it's so hard for me to survive. Like, I gotta be struggling. I gotta be through the trenches, the struggle, just to get to zero. And with that phrase, it came from Trevor Noah when he was on Anderson Cooper talking, man. And I think it was a really like, I mean, everybody knows of the situation, but the way he said it really kind of just put it in the simplest of terms, man. When you're white, you start at zero. You pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You have a gun ho attitude, believe in yourself, and you can accomplish many things. When you black, when you colored, man, starting at negative 50, you gotta crawl to get to zero. And then once you reach zero, this is the kicker. You gotta be 110% at everything to even make it above. I'm just gonna put a numerical value on it, 50. That's not even the top echelon, man. Just to make it a 50, where you can have some say, but not a lot of say. Like I, I was talking to my grandmother, and while we was watching CNN, they had she noticed that there's a lot of black mayors. And when you think about it, the mayor, wow, powerful civil servant, wow, that's amazing. But I mean, in actuality, I mean, that ain't really shit. I mean, I'm thankful that there are some, but they don't really have all that much power and say of what they do in their jurisdiction. So even with this whole coronavirus situation, because everything all meshes together, and that's what's so wild about the human condition. You can have one thing stem from something on the whole other side, but it'll find its way to trickle into something else. So you have these governors who, in these hot spots of this coronavirus, and you have them, despite having numerous evidences of things that can help save people, that can help prevent catching coronavirus, that can help you to maintain at least some form of normalcy in this crazy world we live in, and they still to this day are fighting against it. Oh, don't wear a mask because that's about political. What? Like, how stupid do you sound, bro? Don't wear a mask if you want to support somebody. When there's studies that show that masks actually are saving lives. Come on, man. That don't even make no sense. And for the folks that are going along listening to it, like this is just a normal day in the park, you got to look at them like they some kind of crazy. But it's all trying to cut off the nose to spike the face. You're going to jeopardize your family, your cousin, your auntie, your grandparents, your parents, all because you think that if you support this guy, that he'll, win the election again and he'll make things better. I always still believe that this shit is just going to disappear like it's a miracle or something. Just poof, snap of the fingers and it's gone. And the sad thing is, like, we're not even in the midst of it. Like, we're not even in the middle stages of it yet. When I heard the decision for the EU to not allow American tourists into their country, I applauded. I was standing up and giving a standing ovation because that's smart. That's when you have a nation that cares about their people and are saying, hey, how about, instead of risking our lives just for a few tourist dollars, how about we let them in when they start changing? Like when they start getting healthier. Because as I'm speaking right now, cases are mounting up crazy. Just today, 15,000 new cases of coronavirus in Florida. I don't know about you, but that's kind of trippy. Y'all are sitting here believing in folks that they don't even have your best interest in heart. You gonna go along with it because you want to show support, or oh, it's my freedom. I could do whatever I want. That's a messed up way of thinking about it. If that's the way you want to play it, then there should be no laws because everybody just want to do what they want to do. And if something happens to you, it happens to you. It ain't my problem. I think people in America have become so disillusioned by this false sense of freedom that now that we have plans that are not even, I don't even really understand. Like, I'm taking so many pauses and so many breaths because it really doesn't make sense to me. Like, as I'm talking to you now, it does not make sense to me. How your hate, your ignorance, your stupidity can get to a level where it's just that's it. It's like that. Whatever I say goes, pretty much. And you get so souped up in yourself, and you just like fudge it, fudge it. I mean, hey, it was this lady on I believe it was on CNN, and the interviewer, man, he was asking her like, "Yo, you don't got no mask on. What's up?" It's like, "Oh, well, it's my choice." That's a good point, but um, so you don't mind, potentially killing those around you. I mean, that ain't cold, yo. That was gangster. Now that's gangster. Shooting babies ain't gangster, but that was gangster. He was like, I don't care. It's whatever. All right, cool. Got a lady in Queens coughing on people in a bagel shop. What? Come on, man. But this shit is normal. It's becoming stupidity is becoming so normalized that now we just look at it like, wow, another day in the life, right? You gotta wake up, man. And to end off the podcast, man, I just want to say, I always want to, for the future videos, I always want to end off on a positive note. That even though in the black community we're still struggling, even though we still got a few individuals who are not on the page yet, there's hope, man. People are actually starting to come out and talk against it. And with that, life gets better. I appreciate y'all for listening in, man. If y'all have any kind of comments or any kind of criticisms, man, please let me know either in the comment section down below. I'll have my social media information in the description. Just reach out to your boy, man, with topics. I want this kind of be like a community kind of thing. So, if you got topics, if you got questions, concerns, man, I'm just a regular kid, but I try to answer them the best that I can with my thoughts. I can't speak for nobody else but me. And that's it, man. So, yo, thank you for tuning in. Stay blessed. Stay up.